Now we're going to move on to Bill Purcell as the president of the Valley Chamber. And one of the things that Chris had just mentioned is making sure that our schools are good to be able to attract people to come to this community. I'm going to introduce a different question first for you. The Valley has some challenges that set issues compared to other regions in the Northeast, due to the legacy of our metals industry, which is associated with the number of damaging environmental conditions that we talk about as brownfields. Can you talk to us about some of the benefits and the challenges that our municipalities face in the remediation of these brownfields?
I certainly can. I'm going to use the word transformation, I think, to put your question in context. There's no question that this valley is experiencing a dramatic economic transformation. It has for the past 40 years. Those that have a sense of history maybe look back at defining moments being the terrible fire in 1975 with the loss of the sponge rubber factory, and more recently the loss of the latex foam site in downtown Ansonia, which today is a target. But I think, to put the question of brownfields in context, I think we also have to look at greenfields. It's curious you have a greenfield site, because that largely has been driving the train. And just look around this facility to see the phenomena here that has been created in this corporate zone, the result of very thoughtful planning. I see Ruth Parkins here, for those back in the 1970s that visualized this as a major corporate center with over 4 million square feet of industrial space, probably an equal amount of R&D and manufacturing space, 23,000 jobs. Curiously, 50% of all the jobs in this valley are located here in this community. There's probably 6,000 on this campus alone. So you can't talk about the Valley's renaissance without talking about both greenfields development, and a similar phenomenon is unfolding in Oxford, where there's over 3,000 acres of land available. But to your point about brownfields redevelopment, it creates both a challenge and an opportunity. These are oftentimes costly and time-consuming, requiring unique financial packages to be put together, a combination of private and public sector. And in many ways, the Valley is a laboratory for brownfields redevelopment. And I'll give you a couple examples. I see Paul Grimmer is here. What's happening along Canal Street is really monumental, transforming, repurposing the old Birmingham corset factory into condominiums. The old Baird site is today Avalon Shelton, 220 units of luxury housing. The Chromium Process Building is coming down as we speak and will be repurposed. In Ansonia, a novel approach to dealing with the Ansonia copper and brass site with a tax forgiveness package in exchange for selective demolition on that site, which bookends downtown Ansonia, the old latex foam now target, to create new opportunities for infill development. Moving up into Derby, South Main Street along the river is an enormous opportunity that will be realized once Route 34 is reconstructed. Seymour, the Housatonic Wire site, together with the Seymour Lumber site, again, outstanding views along the river, represents an enormous opportunity. So we have great leadership in this valley. I don't see Rick Dunn here. I see Paul Grimmer here, Sheila O'Malley. We're doing it, and I think in many ways we've become a national model.
Thank you, Bill. But another question for you is, you've said in the past that with our total population over 130,000, that we're really on par with some of Connecticut's larger municipalities and larger cities as an economic and political force. In 2010, and I don't know how many of you in the room know this, but in 2010, the Naugatuck Valley Corridor became federally recognized as an economic development district, an EDD. Some of us call it the SEDS. What does this mean, and what role and potential does this have for the Valley's economic growth now to be federally recognized as an economic district?
Well, first to your larger question, I see Senator Crisco, Representative Perillo, and Representative Linder here. You're absolutely right, first, about the numbers putting us on par with the cities that surround us. And only by coming together as a valley, do we wield the kind of political and economic force in the state that gets attention. And so we're very grateful for that construct. I think it's important to note that no man is an island, no woman is an island, and no community is an island. And that this valley, its hallmark is working together. So through the CEDS process, which is called the Comprehensive Economic Development Strategy, there's 20 communities that meet regularly throughout the year. We compare notes. We prioritize those things that are important to us around transportation and economic development. And what it does is it drives federal and state resources into this community. Because without that planning process, we're not eligible. It's that simple. I'm going to give you an example that's I'm very excited about. It's unfolding as we speak. And this is a site up in Sonia, on a greenfield site, the Fountain Lake Industrial Park. Because of the CEDS process, we became eligible for a $1 million federal grant from the Economic Development Administration. That was leveraged, thank you to the state, with another $500,000 to construct a roadway leading to a new $13 million facility for the Farrell Corporation, a 65,000 square foot facility. That is unbelievable. I walked through it the other night, and I was sharing this with Patrick. It is extraordinary. It's that kind of creative financing, bringing strategic investments at the federal and state level to leverage private investment. So you're talking about $1.5 million to leverage $13 million. It's pretty good leverage. That's the most recent example of the value of that partnership.
That's great. Thank you.